a huge opportunity, and that's why we are in business. Our vision is to be the most admired company in our markets, and we would like our customers to say we want to do more business with Eden, and shareholders say Eden is one of my best investments. So essentially our vision is to be the most admired company out there in all the markets. One of the things which I want you guys to keep in mind, or probably take away from this is Eden is a pretty diversified company, as you can see. One of the things which helps us run the company is our framework. It's called as Eden Business System. It's a framework to run the company. It is primarily a set of processes and tools which every business uses to manage the entity. So it enables us to respond quickly to our customer needs, deliver more cost-effective solutions, and it essentially keeps us on the leading edge of what the market needs. And essentially, while we are diversified, it is the thing which keeps us running the company as an integrated operating company. The other important aspect of Eden is doing business right. We spend a lot of time to ensure that this happens across the globe, and especially in a tough market like emerging markets. And you can see the accolades which Eden has earned over the years, repeatedly, consecutively in the Ethisphere magazine from 2007 to 2012. Even this year we are in the most ethical company list in the Ethisphere magazine. So a number of things, not only in the US but in China and other countries as well. So doing business right is very important for Eden. Financial highlights: sales of 16 billion in 2011, net income of 1.35 billion, EPS 3.96. But if you look at the mix, we have two major sectors, electrical and industrial. So the electrical sector is about 50% of our revenues, about 7.2 billion. And the industrial sector has these four major groups: aerospace, hydraulics, truck, and automotive. And they pretty much provide almost more than half of our revenues. The key thing to note here is the diversity, the balance, right? We have product mix, we have geographical diversity. So any kind of market movements and the economic things, it helps us, right? Not that we are immune to all that, but definitely this kind of a balance is beneficial. As I mentioned, this is the breakup between the two sectors. The electrical sector is organized as Electrical Americas and Rest of the World, and the industrial sector is aerospace, hydraulics, and vehicle groups. The markets we serve, diverse, right from agriculture and forestry through data centers, through government and residential across the globe. So this is the thing which I think keeps us on the edge, right? This is the trend which Eden sees in the various markets we serve, electrical, hydraulics. Let me read one. The electrical, 23% decrease in electricity demand possible through the application of energy efficient equipment and demand management services. So that's a trend which you think that's what we aspire to do, continuously innovate to achieve that. So any of these areas, if you look at it, you're looking at efficiencies around fuel consumption, efficiencies around way we help influence the standards which come out there. So these are pretty significant, and we see that as things which Eden is central to, and that keeps us in business and focused to deliver what the market needs. So some of our notable customers across the globe, it's all over. A number of these companies are situated in India as well. That's it. So I thought that's what I wanted to convey, and hopefully it was useful and open to questions. Sure.
A typical challenge for all IT companies, I think most of us will agree, is the lack of domain knowledge. The customers will always beat us saying that you don't have domain knowledge. One argument is, we are the IT people, we're supposed to help with the IT part of it. And here we'll see Eaton hiring you without any kind of background in manufacturing and making you the IT head. So what gives it?
It's a big risk they've taken. Eaton as a company, right, I've been there 2 years. In terms of what I've seen, it's a phenomenal company in terms of its culture. So when I say culture, it's pretty broad in terms of how we acquire talent, how we make talent central to everything which we do. So there is great deal of openness in terms of what we bring into the company and how we help them. So there is a mindset around bringing in different school of thoughts and looking ahead as what we need down the road. What is the future needs are for the business, for the industry. So those are things which help make decisions which are needed for tomorrow. So in some ways, it was interesting. Maybe I'll talk sometimes when we meet around how this marriage happened in some ways. But that's how Eden operates. To take the bets which are important, and also to bring in into the workforce necessary things which are relevant for the future needs.
But in terms of advice to us, how much should we invest in getting domain knowledge if we are serving a manufacturing industry as an IT company?
So domain knowledge is important, and the number of ways achieving it. Either you completely invest your time and stuff which you see there is significant future out there for those kinds of technologies. You don't bet on one company, you bet on a trend, you bet on an industry, you bet on what's happening out there. And you make your decisions around whether you're going to do all the investment or you're going to partner with somebody in some ways. So there are people out there who have spent the time. So that's the kind of a theme which partnering becomes very important, along with players who may have those skills ahead of you in some ways. But it's a tough one in some ways because you might feel, am I giving up something out here? But that's one way to go and address that issue. So when you go like that into a large enterprise, then there is this opportunity, right? And I've seen companies, it's not that I'm saying that we should sell your company, but there are opportunities where this leads to down the road for a better relationship with other companies out there. So sometimes you can go it alone. You have to do the investment. You feel there is a need for that. But sometimes it's okay to partner and play with it in that fashion.
I can just add to
Sure.
that based on the PTC experience. Again, an IT company, understanding the technology part of it, software development, processes, etc. But when it was time to sort of grow, I think this was the dilemma. And at the end of the day, the company needed people who could talk to the manufacturing guys.
Right.
So hence, understanding their processes, understanding their pain points, all that, and it's applicable everywhere, but in terms of manufacturing, that holds true. I think that's how you will have to then say that yes, you need to invest, but picking up on what you said, whether you do it on your own or through a partner who helps, but that is indeed required.
But these are things you can learn over time. It's not a rocket science. So it's
No prescription, so to speak.
Vish, everyone understands that IT is an important part of every business. Every leader understands that. But whenever some things slow down or economic slowdowns, why the IT projects are affected first? In general sense.
you know where he works, right? He's asking the question. So Abdul, there are number of things which go into decisions which happen in terms of what we need to prioritize and work on. So since we are in IT, sometimes we feel that IT is the only thing which gets hacked, but that's not true. It is across the board. But it is, in some ways, our ability to partner with the business and make sure that this effort is as significant. First is that when you make the choice, we're going to work on this. So make sure that effort or a project is pretty significant, right? It's in the top few, right? So that means in some sense, you're having the assurance that this is something which business needs. Right? If the business needs it badly, I don't think it'll be taken off. But the call needs to be made. I mean, you can do only X number of things, and there are constraints associated with budget. That's true for any company. But I don't think IT gets singled out. But there is definitely the opportunity for IT to, embed itself in the business. The models, there are lots of models out there where you can partner with the business to, stay much closer and improve the visibility of IT in the business.
I think, if I may,
Sure.
I think I agree to your point, and excuse me, and Ashutosh, you might also have seen this in the past, where we've seen IT projects being handed out specifically in the time of need, for the company to actually save money. So I think if you define the ROI very, very clearly, if everybody understands, if I don't do this, I will not save that, then those projects don't get axed. They actually, you actually see an increase in spending.
I think it came out in your presentation, alignment, the strategy aligned to business needs. I think that's
very key.
Absolutely key. And that's the pain point I think the service providers have to understand. And again, dovetail their proposals into that.
That's right. Gentleman in the last row.
Yeah, at some point you're talking that the suppliers getting together and coming up with a standard, right? So especially in cloud.
Yeah.
So, but it's a general trend. So if you look at the manufacturing ecosystem, it's more of the OEMs coming up with standard. For example, GM or Ford. So saying that okay, so supply. So this is the format you have to follow, and then so follow this process. So that's the trend. So do you think the things would change when cloud takes up?
See, I wouldn't phrase it that way if cloud takes up, and cloud exists out there. I mean, it's been there for some time, we're just giving it a different name, private, public, etc., etc. But the thing is, definitely there's an opportunity. Manufacturing companies are going to be, uptight when it comes to sharing stuff or changing their protocol and specifications. But that's where the industry bodies will play an important role, bringing to the manufacturers, and also suppliers can come into that. Right? That's the thing which we are seeing. We are breaking grounds there, along with ACMA and SEAP. So we got to break new grounds in that space. That's the only way. You will still have a few companies who will not participate, but once you see this trend gaining traction, I'm sure they will fall in line. So we got to push that case, and wherever we get the opportunity.
So another point I had is, so you're saying that all the SMEs has to tag up with the leader. So that's the right strategy to follow. So but is that same? So I'm sort of missing something. So cloud is more of an open platform. So where SMEs also may have a say.
Right.
So but why should they tag up with the leader?
Now, I'm not saying in every case you do that. In cases where it is hard to penetrate, right? The amount of time you require to go invest, learn the nuances, learn the domain, learn the technologies, etc. You might have the skill set, you might have the capability, which is better understood by one of these leaders in some ways who already have an established relationship. So you are entering that domain much faster rather than you having to try and build that. And sometimes it doesn't materialize, right? So you got to make a call. I'm not saying every case you do that, but there are, if you